The River Amazon. Flowing for 4,000 miles, it holds 1/5 of all the fresh water on Earth. The source of life for some of the greatest wonders of nature. But only one creature truly captures the spirit of the Amazon, the colossal anaconda. The biggest of these snakes are believed to be more than 30 feet long, but their terrifying appearance inspires reports of 60 feet and more. Reptile hunter and scientist Mark O'Shea has come to the mouth of the Amazon, where the river is 200 miles wide. His ambitious long-term plan is to chart the evolution of the anaconda by sampling DNA from all 3 known species. On this trip, he's aiming for 2 of them. These river islands are home to Deschaunsi's species, the rarest of the anacondas and the most difficult to find. And Mark will also face the green anaconda, the largest snake on Earth. In water, it's an awesome predator. Weightless and highly mobile, it can take a caiman, an 8-foot-long relative of the alligator, and swallow it whole. But these constricting coils of pure muscle have also been known to trap humans in a grip from which there is no escape. Mark's quest begins in the bustling Brazilian port of Belém. All the produce of the Amazon is traded here, even its animals. Mark hopes to find his first sign of the anacondas.
This is a skin of a boa constrictor, head and legs of a green iguana, skin of a boa constrictor. This is a tegu skin, preserved boa constrictor, 2 live boa constrictors in a jar. I don't think they're destined for the pet market, much more likely into some sort of medicinal product of dubious value. It's very sad to see animals like this, but the Indians have been doing this for centuries, and it probably has a very limited effect on the wild environment. This jar says Habo de Jiboa, which is boa constrictor tail. But in actual fact, this should say Habo de Sucari, because this is an anaconda tail.
The search for live anacondas begins on Marijo, the largest river island in the world. It's home to both species Mark is looking for. But Mark believes Deschaunsi's anaconda is more closely related to the 3rd species, the yellow anaconda, which lives 1,200 miles away. He needs DNA samples to have his theory tested genetically. Mark and his translator are joined by reptile expert Alex Zanetti from the Butantan Institute, one of Brazil's leading laboratories. It's the dry season, and the lagoons should be emptying, leaving the anacondas in the shallows and much easier to find.
I like to work with my spider's web method, where I sit in the middle of spider's web and I let the messages go out to villages that I want to be told when a snake turns up, and then I'll go over there and catch it.
Mark can't sit still while he waits for his spider's web to bring in news of the anacondas. A woodpile near the team's base is a likely spot for small but deadly venomous snakes.
Well, there's probably snakes in there.
Vai dar trabalhão, hein, remover isso aí.
It's a lot of work, yeah. Well, we may as well have a go at it. But whether I actually complete it is another thing altogether. Gotta watch out for scorpions as well. Yeah. Something's gone under there, and There's definitely something under here, and I don't think... It might have been a snake.
Oops, oops, a snake. A
Where?
snake, right here.
Oh, bota.
Oh, yes, botrop, super. We have a venomous snake.
There's a hole there.
I'm going to try and hook him up. Watch your back. That's got it. That's one of the lance heads. And there are 3 potential species that could be. But it will require closer examination when we get back to determine exactly which one it is.
A scale count identifies the snake as a baby of the common lancehead species.
Cute little baby, though, isn't it? It was, little called. You work mostly on baby snakes.
Você trabalha com cobras
Com
pequenas,
filhotes.
com filhotes, né?
Eu
They need
prefiro
more
trabalhar com
attention.
elas.
They
They
need
do,
special care.
Elas...
As babies, these snakes eat small, fast-moving lizards, so they need a fast-acting venom to kill the lizards before they get away. The prey are lured by a white tail which looks like a wriggling worm.
Baby snakes quite often seem to be more toxic than adults, so you can get quite nasty bites from relatively small animals.
Ele falou que
Alex took a venomous bite while feeding one of these snakes in the lab. A day in intensive care kept him alive, but he has a permanent reminder on his thumb. For reptile experts, it comes with a job.
I was bitten by a rattlesnake in the forest up in Iwokrama, and I was 12 hours before I got to hospital.
Onde pegou?
Where did it
No.
bite?
That one,
Your hand?
that was, I have to think, in the thumb. That,
The same.
Yeah, mine too.
Mark's spider's web brings news of the anaconda from a local farm, and the team saddles up for the journey. Mark is allergic to horses because the anti-venom he's been given in the past for snake bites is cultured in living horses. But you can't keep a good man down.
Come on. I'm going to get one of these. Fuel economy is not bad.
The farm has a deep pond covered in vegetation.
That's hopeful for anacondas, look.
But hope soon turns to sadness.
About a meter. It's got an arrow on its head.
Tem uma seta na cabeça que parece a de chance.
See? There are black spots on its back, but there are far more than you would see in a green anaconda, and in some cases, the ones on either side of the body are actually joined to create a big, wide blotch. The more I examine this specimen, the more I become sure it's Dishonus's anaconda. DNA mitochondrial, no?
It's a tragedy. Even young anacondas are feared by the locals, and the butchered snake is too badly decomposed for a DNA sample. Mark heads for the pond to look for live snakes and is soon up to his neck in trouble. The ponds are not as dry as they should be, and in deep water, the anaconda's in its element. So is Mark, but Alex doesn't like getting his feet wet.
Alex, o que você acha do Mark ali
Alex,
dentro da água?
what do you think of Mark out there in the water, trying to find snakes?
Eu acho que ele tá no habitat
I think that
natural.
he is in his natural habitat. He was
Nasceu
born to
pra
do
isso,
that.
né? Eu acho que uma
But I
cobra
think that a
deixa
snake
ele
could find him before he
e
finds
deixar
it.
o animal.
I've swapped my metal stump ripper for a wooden pole because Dada says that there's electric eels in here as well. And it doesn't make a lot of sense walking around poking in a lightning conductor into the water. This is the preferred method for finding anacondas. The idea is to move across, and if you poke an anaconda, the whole place starts to move and you can work out where it is. And it's very smelly and very sticky.
Maybe the spider's web approach has gone too far. Mark's catching plenty of flies, but no snakes.
It's very depressing. Perfect habitat. But they are totally eluding us. They're there. but the water levels are still surprisingly high for this time of year. It's a month later than when I was catching them in Venezuela several years ago, and those lagoons are drying. They're still pretty full here.
With the full moon, more water is on its way. The Amazon is so powerful that it pushes fresh water 60 miles out into the Atlantic. But the ocean fights back every full moon. A wave called the Pororoca is forced back up the Amazon by the highest tide of the month. It's an incredible sight, but it's not helping Mark. In this year's so-called dry season, there's nothing but deep water instead of dry creeks. Finding anacondas is proving impossible. Mark gives up on Marijo and flies north to the island of Cabiana. Farm workers there have reported a massive snake, but Mark will be racing against time to capture it. The anaconda was spotted on the island at low tide, but as the water rises, it could easily escape to the river.
I wonder why I'm walking like this. It's because you get stingrays on these sandbanks, and it's better to shuffle and chase them away than actually step on them.
The anaconda is in an underground stream. Mark will have to get it out quickly before the stream is flooded by the incoming tide.
Are we getting close yet?
Yes. The snake's hole is up here.
The farm workers have dug down to the stream to locate the snake, but the holes they've made may also allow the anaconda to come to the surface and strike.
They opened these two holes.
But when did they see it? You know, when? Yesterday? Today?
No, today in the morning.
There's every possibility between them seeing it and us getting it, it's moved on.
At the moment, there's no sign of the anaconda. More digging is needed to find out if it's escaped.
Does this run all the way to the river?
Yeah.
That's a lot of digging.
Yeah.
An hour after starting to dig, and they're finally making some progress.
Moment.
The farm workers are happy to help, as long as Mark is first to put his hand down the hole.
Mete ferro de pau aqui, ó.
Yes! There's a big snake in there. I
Yeah?
can feel its flanks, and it is a big snake. Yep, definitely. I'm going to touch it very gently. I don't want to be pulled down the hole. Bloody hell, is it? Yep. You're moving, yep. Okay, he's here.
Yeah.
Excellent, well done. Right, now, priority. We're going to limit it.
Okay.
So we want to block these.
A gente vai ter que tampar esse buraco. A gente vai tampar ali na frente para não varar para lá.
It is beginning to start flooding, isn't it? So we're going to be working against time as well.
This is the danger time. If the snake feels threatened, it may strike, something Mark has experienced before.
I caught one like this in Brazil, 1987, down a hole. And I did pull, it was a green anaconda up in the north in Roraima, and I pulled the tail out, and I'm holding the tail, thinking what next? And the snake actually came up through the mud of this drying stream bed, straight up through the mud looking for me. Didn't come up the hole, came just punched straight up, and I had to dive on him quick before he found out where I was.
Mark still doesn't know which species of anaconda is down there.
There aren't many places in the world where you can locate a large snake down a hole and have a choice of species as to what it might be. See if his head's appearing.
We saw the head here.
Yeah.
Pretty size head.
Good size?
Yeah.
This is a big snake. This is a very
I think
big
so.
snake.
So big, in fact, that Mark will have to struggle to free it.
I can't even get my hand around that coil. Look at that. And he's wedged himself in. And squeezing him and poking him, he pulls his tail in. But he doesn't seem to bother about going anywhere. He probably feels fairly invulnerable. So I think at the moment we are going to have to cut more of this away. There's his nose. There's his nose. In the corner. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be able to pull him backwards out of there with a tractor.
They still have to be careful. They've cornered a very dangerous predator.
We've uncovered a bit of a flank here.
You want to help?
Not yet, we're going to see what it's going to do. Suddenly his head might just appear out of the mud and grab one of us. Fish. No, don't pull, because I don't want to damage his tail.
Não puxa, folga.
We'll take this out.
Tem que tirar esse cara. Olha, tá mexendo pra cá já. Vai pra lá, olha. Olha. Olha.
Oh.
Aí não tem jeito.
Yeah. Well, I think there's the head appear here.
Fighting time and tide, Mark can't wait any longer for the snake to come to him.
Não deixa. Bora tampar essa porra aqui, essa porra não.
I'm hoping it's not going to bite.
Meta a terra.
I just can't see where it's gone there. There's a head. I got him. That's a big head. Up you come. It's a... It's got a big leg. Okay. Let's watch that move. It's coming up now. Get the coil out.
What?
Grab the body.
Segura o corpo.
Somebody grab the body.
Somebody grab the body.
Pega a volta. Solta.
Bora, vou puxar.
Bora.
Bora, pode. Que espete lá. Força. Isso aí. Isso aí, tá enrolado, ó. Aqui logo. Pessoal aqui. Pessoal aqui. Pessoal aqui. Isso me levou. Isso aí. Isso aí. Tá vendo aí? Tá pensando que tu tá lá no...
Okay.
The moment of truth has arrived. It could be the rare Deshaunsee's anaconda or the giant green anaconda.
This is one big mother. And this, even with the mud on, looks like a giant green anaconda. This snake is big enough, if it caught you off guard, to kill you, especially if you're in the water, because you'd probably drown, because the weight of this around you. He has a sizable set of teeth. He has 6 rows of sharp recurved teeth, 4 in the upper jaw, 2 in the lower jaw, and they're in sheaths of skin in there. You can see the upper jaw teeth in the roof of the mouth. We're going to have a job getting it back, but I think we do need to take this back. We'll measure it and weigh it properly. Getting it back is going to be the interesting part.
Mark wants to study the green anaconda more closely, but they'll have to take it to a ranch on the island because the whole area is beginning to flood. Mark also wants to spread the word about protecting these fantastic animals. Big snakes are widely feared and are often killed on sight, but Mark hopes the farm workers will leave anacondas alone in the future.
And the 2 guys who are helping me dig were being braver than they would ordinarily be under the circumstances. And when we got the snake out, a lot of the people who were helping us, equipment carriers and all of them, wanted to come and touch it now that it was a snake that was under control. I think the anaconda's quite enjoying it, actually. I've never seen the world from up here.
If there's one place not to be with a large anaconda, it's in deep water.
Tudo bem?
Tá, agora tu quer dar o rabo no rabo do meu mesmo quase aí.
The tide has risen high enough to get a bigger boat up to the beach, but no one in the wheelhouse is expecting a 16.5-foot snake through the window. And where the anaconda goes, Mark O'Shea will follow. Weighing anacondas in the field is no easy matter. Back at the ranch, Mark shows how.
The middle first.
First, take the weight of one Mark O'Shea. Then add one very large snake.
Agora vamos tentar botar o resto do corpo em volta dele.
So you're going to have to get ready to weigh us because I'm not able to hold it for long. Okay, is it on?
Not exactly.
I've got the trial. I've got. Where's that head? Give me the head. Give me the head back. Give me the head back. Okay, I've got it. Okay. 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 Okay.
That's it.
Is that it? Okay.
Okay.
Finally, subtract one Mark O'Shea. The green anaconda weighs in at a mammoth 160 pounds, one of the heaviest Mark has ever caught in all his journeys to the Amazon. A blood sample is the beginning of Mark's plan to map the genetic relationships of all the anaconda species in the wild.
Now.
Always a nice feeling to release something like that.
Reptile hunter and scientist Mark O'Shea has come back to the jungle, his home away from home. But even for him, the Iwokrama rainforest in Guyana is something special. Mark aims to catch and photograph reptiles in one of the most spectacular places on Earth.
I'm here at the top of Kaito Falls in central Guyana, the only English-speaking country in the whole of South America. Kaito Falls is just stupendous. 741 foot in a straight drop, which is why I'm standing back a little bit, because it's a bit breezy up here. The highest straight drop waterfall in the world. I was last here in 1993. We camped at the bottom and we trekked up through the jungle and up onto the top here and stayed here to do a survey. And these are the bromeliads that are home to the Kaito Falls golden frog. Now the golden frog is a really tiny little frog, and he's one of a large number of frogs that actually inhabit these water-filled bromeliads. And it's actually a member of the dart poison frog family. Oh, there's one. God, it is golden after all. And it is tiny.
The exotic bromeliad plants trap rainwater in the cup formed by their leaves, providing such a perfect home for the tiny golden frog that it doesn't usually come out.
There he is. Look at that. Beautiful little golden frog. Is that amazing? Little golden frog with two yellow stripes down its back and little dark eyes. Am I going to pop him back? Here he is. He's coming up.
Iwokrama is the largest rainforest of its kind in the world. It's a sustainable reserve, which means that preservation of wildlife is a top priority. A key feature is the healthy population of large animals, like pumas and jaguars, which would be close to extinction elsewhere. Most importantly for Mark O'Shea, it's a safe haven for 120 different species of reptile. Mark has a worldwide reputation for his ability to track down reptiles. He's been called in by the reserve's biologist Graham Watkins to take on a daunting challenge.
Hi, Graham. Fine.
Iwokrama's reptiles must be photographed and carefully described for a scientific field guide. Mark's task is far from easy. There are many reptiles here, but the jungle is massive.
If that's Iwokrama, it's a large surface area compared to the country of Guyana.
Yeah, it's about 2% of the whole of Guyana. It's 3,600 square kilometers. The road runs straight through the middle, and this is the only road in the forest. This is totally pristine forest.
Yeah.
It's a 2-hour drive to Mark's jungle field camp on Iwokrama's only road. But with Mark, a 2-hour drive can easily take all day. He sees every reptile as a challenge. And they soon learn not to stick around.
He made a mistake of standing and having a look at me. There's a small snake millipede. If I had a penny for every one of those I'd found, I'd have more money than Bill Gates. The rangers from the Iwokrama Reserve have set up a rather palatial camp for us, which basically is how I like to work. Place for everything in its place, everything dry, away from the rain, under a tarpaulin. My science area sort of starts here. Waterproof coat, big boots, mosquito kit, all the cameras and lanterns safely in waterproof boxes, snake catching equipment, grabs, hooks, the works, machete, my head cam backpack, and my trusty old favourite slouch hat with a hole in it.
But Mark never spends much time indoors, and all his equipment would be useless without some good old-fashioned jungle know-how.
These are pug marks. It's footprints, animal footprints, and they're from a large animal. And looking at the toes, that was quite a good print. It's a big cat. It's either a jaguar or a puma. This is a haven for animals of that size, big carnivores, which is great. Graham, how are you going?
Mark always has a few reptile-catching tricks up his sleeve.
Wally, yeah.
No, Wally.
Wally is the
How'd you do?
budding Guyanese herpetologist.
Oh, good, good. Need more of those?
The drift fence is one of his favorites.
Let's see how this fence is. Yes, it's almost finished.
It's simple, but effective.
I'll explain the concept of this drift fence technique. It's a technique that I've used a great deal in the tropics. And the idea is that you're seeking the nocturnal, ground-dwelling species, the ones that live under the ground that are driven out when it rains, the ones that you simply would not see. And the idea is that they're coming along, trundling along, they bump into the fence. They can't go over it, they can't go under it, so they go along it. And they drop into one of our pitfall traps. We come along periodically and check them out and see what we've caught. And it means that each morning can be like Christmas. You either got lots of presents or no presents at all. Okay, tremendous.
All right.
Oh, I've caught a little lizard.
Good.
It ran into a beer can on the side of the road. Not one of mine, I hasten to add. It's an old beer can. It ran straight in there, so I picked it up and I take it back and see what we got when we get back to camp. This is my lizard in a tin. They usually make a bolt for a hole, and this foolish lizard chose a discarded beer can and dived straight in. So I simply walked over and picked it up. It's not often you get a lizard catches himself. I'm going to take the roof off his garage. There he is. Hello. And there we have one of the fastest moving lizards, if not the fastest moving lizard in the area. It's a young Amiva. Fully grown specimen. Up, 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 up. But there he goes. Bye-bye.
The drift fences provide Mark with plenty of daytime study. But when night falls, it's time for more dangerous pursuits.
He's swimming, he's moving at speed. I'm going to have to move. He's off. Got him. Well, first off, this is a little dwarf caiman.
This young adult has a nasty bite, but it will only grow another 2 feet at most.
It's a small species. It's a dwarf caiman. Nice little capture. Good start for the evening. Something in the tunnel.
It might be another dwarf caiman, or it might be a giant anaconda.
Something went up inside my shirt. I could feel it walking around underneath my arm. Nothing doing. Another boring wet day at the office.
Photography reveals another side to Mark O'Shea.
Good morning.
His deep knowledge of reptiles comes from observing them with infinite patience.
This is a Cuvier's dwarf or smooth-fronted caiman. And it's going to be very good. You stop destroying the set.
Catching reptiles is one thing. Getting them to pose for the camera is quite another.
If he makes a break for it and runs, just everyone stay where they are, and I'll catch him.
The dwarf caiman is so small that it needs heavy armor for protection against predators. And when it gets half a chance, it's as fast as lightning.
You're a naughty chap. I'll show you something interesting in this. Crocodilians have got air-seeing eyes like ours, but they also spend time underwater and they can convert their eyes to rudimentary water-seeing eyes. And they do this by passing a membrane over the eye. And what I'll do is I'll cover his eyes up. He should shut his eyes. Then when his eyelids open again, you'll also see a membrane, a secondary eyelid pass from the back to the front. And that's the membrane that goes over his eye when he's underwater. Here in Guyana they call this the Labaria turtle. Labaria is the Guyanese name for the venomous lancehead here, the common lancehead.
Mark has had reptile bites, but some are worse than others.
He's trying to bite me now, look. Yeah. Felt it.
You guys set up the other drift set.
Down this way.
Yeah, so you gotta go.
Smells nice, Roderick. We'll be back when we check this fence out. Yep, that one's out.
The drift fence has to be checked every day. Mark and Wally want to know if it's reptile Christmas this morning.
Scorpion.
Where? Are you sure?
Yeah. Just move, look at the right, just more to your right. Under that same set of leaf that you just now push to the right. Under that green.
There it is. What a tiny little scorpion.
Oh, scorpion.
Ah, another scorpion. Right. There he is.
Ah, there he is.
Tiny little tyke. Well, at him. Oh, round and round the mulberry bush.
Got it.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. He's in. Don't do that again. Man. That was a winning moment.
Yeah, open the tin and there's a scorpion smiling right in your face.
All the animals Mark and Wally catch are photographed before release. This is a poisonous cane toad, the world's biggest toad. It can grow to twice this size.
If you persevere, you can get photographs of almost any reptiles and amphibians. Even those that don't want to play. You just have to take your time. This is really quite a beautiful little creature. And you're tempted to sort of pick it up in the palm of your hand. But that'd be an extremely foolish thing to do. Because it is extremely poisonous. It has many urticating hairs. They're all poison tipped. And if you touch this kind of caterpillar, you are liable to be very poorly for quite some time. Intense pain and fever and the like. And this is one that the guy and his lads go, whoa, step back, pass me the scorpion instead. And if you want to work and live in the jungle, you have to keep your wits about you, and you have to know what's in the jungle with you.
When Mark finds out that the creeks where he has been bathing are full of electric eels, it comes as something of a shock.
There's one. There's an eel. There's two. There it is. There.
The eels generate more than 500 volts. It's like dropping a toaster into a bath. They paralyze small prey like fish and frogs. But even Mark's life would be in danger.
Look.
He's got one. He's got a big fish. Get that.
Not a big fish. You drop it, going behind it again.
There's one under the tree. Yes, there's another one come up just over from it. They're coming up. They're getting the light and they're going.
The real danger is when several eels discharge at once.
Oh, it's charged then, and the fish got a bit of a... Oh, look at this. Look at this fellow. Look at that. And the bat's flying over as well.
This one even carry like a reddish tinge on top.
There's one resting... Look at that one. Oh. That's a biggie. That's where they're living, look.
Under that wood plank.
Under all that timber down there.
There's two of them here.
There, yes. That is a dangerous fish. You don't want to fall in there, do you? Hey? I don't think you'd come out. No, I think if you fell in there, you'd make such a splash, they'd all discharge at the same time, and I think you'd be toast.
There's one reptile that Mark especially wants to photograph. So much so that he ventures just outside the Iwokrama Reserve to track it down.
I think it was in here, wasn't it?
Yeah, right.
There it is. No, wasn't it? No.
The mata is a peculiar turtle, found only in the northern part of South America. It fascinates Mark, and he's laid a net to catch one.
Hey?
It could only be a caiman.
It could only be a caiman, yeah.
But he's been beaten to it.
Yeah, it's been bitten off. How about that? Okay, there's a piece of cord that was anchoring the net, and that's paracord. That's tough damn stuff, that is. I don't know yet, but something very strong seems to have taken the net. Smashed to hell. Caiman. Look at that. That's caiman damage, that is. Black caiman. Yeah, it's just, and that's a big mouth. Look at the bite on that. It's just snapped that straight through.
But Mark doesn't give up easily. The traditional technique of the local Amerindians is much more to his liking.
It seems the only way to find them is to feel around on the bottom. It's not very deep. So it strikes me as the best method is to use my hands, because I know as soon as I find a turtle, it'll feel like a turtle.
It's a muddy, piranha-infested creek. And they're looking for a perfectly camouflaged bottom-dwelling turtle. But after a few hours, even Mark decides you can have too much of a good thing. Nearby villagers have found 2 mata-mata turtles for Mark to photograph. It's not ideal, since he gets a better chance to learn about an animal's habitat if he catches it himself. But photographs for the field guide are the most important thing on this trip.
Here you go. I've done it. Well, there we are. The neck is curved when it's at rest. In actual fact, the neck of this turtle is as long as the body, and it can reach right out to about here. And it's covered in all these frills, which may break up the outline of the neck, but even more important, they're thought to have a sensory function. They will detect the slight vibrations of a shoal of fish, which is exactly what this turtle eats.
These turtles feed like a vacuum cleaner, shooting out their long necks and sucking up passing fish.
The head is triangular, most curious. And you can see the neck curve then. This animal has got a lot of neck. And the head, it's got to be said, looks like a dead leaf. So when this turtle is actually on the bottom, in a shallow stream in the forest, you're going to be hard pushed to spot it. But my favourite part is this mouth, because it's the most supercilious grin I've ever seen. He looks completely bemused and puzzled by what's going on, and sort of, oh yes, camera? What camera?
The mata-mata turtle has a secret weapon. Out of the water, it smells revolting. But that won't stop Mark giving his favorite turtles pride of place in the field guide.
It definitely does honk.
In the jungle, you have to catch your own dinner. But here in Guyana, the fish bite back.
Yeah, he's on, he's on. Red piranha. It's a very good reason not to be barefoot in this boat. Now, look at the teeth there. Those will make a mess of you.
Mark may be at home in the jungle, but definitely not in the kitchen.
I hate cooking. I don't mind catching them. I love eating them. The bit that goes in between is not for me. I'm not really a cook. I think some lemon. I'm not going to be a TV chef, no. No way.
It's Mark's last night, and it's no surprise to find him out looking for snakes. He and Graham are hoping to catch a tree boa, the only snake to have reflective eye shine.
Go on this side.
Positive snake. And it's looking. It's alert. I don't want to touch these bushes if I can avoid it. It's moving. Shh. Very careful with the lights, guys. It's alert. Well, I've got it. So it's going no place. It's scenting on me. I can smell it. It's not too pleased. Right, now if you take the boat in a bit further, I can untangle the coil, but I've got the tail. Okay, little chap, I'm sorry, but you better give up, because you ain't not getting away. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Well, that's the price I have to pay. I got him. Now, I'll try not to fall in the river. He just nailed me on the wrist there. But of course, it's a non-venomous snake, so makes no differ. It just comes a bit sharp because he's got long teeth for catching bats and birds and things. But a successful capture. I'm well pleased.
The tree boa capture is the perfect end to Mark's adventure in the Iwokrama Reserve. It's time to leave the jungle, a place as familiar to Mark as his own home.
This is really an extremely diverse and rich ecosystem. Day and night, it's my favourite environment. I like to sit in it and just listen. Iwokrama is safe. It's a beautiful habitat that's going to survive. So many of them are not so fortunate.